I got into cars because my dad and my brother were both mechanics, and I remember watching them work on their trucks, and I was just like, I wish I knew how to do that. And so I joined the Army, and they basically paid me to learn how to be a mechanic. So my first car was a 1998 Ford Ranger, and that thing broke all the time. So I was kind of forced into learning mechanics, and then after that I got a 2004 Grand Marquis Mercury, and it was my grandfather's, and it was so fast, and that's what got me into like the adrenaline. My name is Hailey. I drive a 2006 Subaru STI. So my friend had a 2005 Subaru STI, the Blob-Eye, and I remember driving that and I fell in love, but I wanted to find one that was kind of my own, and then I found the Hawkeye and I was sold from there. I was looking for this car for about a year. I knew I wanted Aspen White, kind of to go with my truck because my truck's white, and I wanted the Hawkeye. I was not gonna settle for a Blob-Eye because I thought they were cool, but I was dead set on the Hawkeye. And it took me a lot of Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and all these ads until I finally found it, and I think it was really important because I didn't settle. There was a few cars that I was like, okay, but there's something wrong with it, or it wasn't exactly what I wanted. And then when I finally found this one, I had to jump on it. So I was in Texas when I was in the Army, and I was coming back to Florida, and I found this car in Jacksonville. So it was kind of on my way down, and I was like, let me just stop and look at it and test drive it, just see what it's got. And I fell in love with it. I didn't even try to hide my excitement. I told the guy, I was like, I will be back in a week with cash and I'm buying it. So I actually have a pretty crazy story. When I first got the car, I had to drive through I-4, which if you live in Florida, you know that is crazy with traffic. And I had only drove stick shift like a few times. So on a stage 2 clutch, I was going through traffic, and it was the scariest moment of my life, but I learned how to drive, and it was like a great experience. So being a girl, I remember I would go for an oil change, and I've had a lot of friends that would go for an oil change, and they would charge you a ridiculous amount just because you're a girl. And so my whole thing getting into them is I know how much an oil change should cost, so you can't overcharge me. And I think it's really important that a lot of girls, and even some guys too, be able to understand cars and how they work. Got into racing. I've been in the Army for 3 years, and I love adrenaline. I'm not scared of heights, I'm not scared of anything, and I love the adrenaline rush. And after driving this car and feeling the boost and the power, I fell in love with racing. My future plans for the car, I definitely want to put on some exterior add-ons, just like fender flares, something small as like tinting the tail lights and getting actually good tint for the back, because the tint on the back window is just garbage. So a little few things like that, and then I want to get some bolt-ons for the engine. I want to get like a new intake. My turbo is really good, so I don't need to touch that. But a few things like that, and then regular maintenance just to keep it like in really great shape. And then I think down the road I might do a little bit of racing, but I definitely want to keep it in good condition.